much, Honorable Senators. From the onset, it's extremely important to share some very serious information. The fact that the formula, the proposed formula, was submitted to the Senate within the recess. As such, the committee has not processed the formula. So the committee is not sharing any position on the formula. Number two, knowing how emotive the issue of the formula is, even when I was called up as a discussant, I did not prepare to come and give input other than issues of generalities. Number three, the Senate under Article 217 is mandated to come up with a final formula. CRA is mandated to give a proposal to the Senate. And understanding how controversial the third formula was, and at that time I sat in a very uncomfortable position of serving as a governor of Mandera County, and I had a lot of cartoons drawn about me and the Senate at that point. I just want to put Nimona a little bit of discomfort already on the basis of the presentation. I want to tell the Senate of the Republic of Kenya that the committee, should the majority leader decide to maintain or retain me as the chair of that committee, because there are some changes coming up, which should happen. But what I mean, the committee is going to really make sure that we will do a very good job and consult with you on the basis of three issues, because experience comes in extremely handy. Despite the fact that, you know, Article 216 and Article 217 and Article 203 has given some guidelines. From practical discussion, it does not mean that then CRA should really alter the formula so drastically that understanding it becomes extremely difficult, even for the senators who are mandated to come up with a formula. But they are mandated to give a proposal, and the proposal is going to be subjected to a new layer of stakeholder engagement. And because of the controversy that preceded in the previous formula, we will have a number of informal sessions with the committee. The basic principle on the formula, as I stand here, and that is my personal opinion, and it's important to qualify that as my personal opinion, not as the chair of Senate Standing Committee on Finance and Budget, because we've not processed. And any position I take will be the position of the committee as they recommend the final recommendation to the Senate. And because for the 2.5 years, we've gotten a lot of support from the Senate in terms of what the committee has processed, it is not our intention to start with controversy in terms of the work of the committee. But let me just say the principle, the basic principle that as we have engaged, you know, various entities in Kara, Dora, and county additional allocation, what has come out extremely clearly is that, first, with increase in shareable revenue, there must be marginal increase for all counties. Number two, and it's my personal opinion, the holding harmless issue is a controversy in itself, and we really need to find a smoother way to navigate. For example, let me put it in the most simple way to analyze. If we have shared 387.425 in the current financial year, and the numbers are what they are, and that shareable revenue moves from 387.425 and moves to 417, then the natural expectation is that whatever formula we propose, there must be marginal increase compared between the difference of 387.425 and 417. There must be considerable marginal increase for all the 47 counties, which is a very simple, position that we really need to look at. And then number 3, the counties are they are devolved functions that are very basic. And there are 5 counties that are affected very severely. And we've interacted, over the last 2 years, and we see the difficulty, and it has come to light. Counties of Isiolo, Lamu, Nyamira, Nyandarua, and Tharaka Nithi have some challenge, very serious challenge, because between me and my colleague and my boss, the speaker, we've been governors, and I also have seen my colleague, my former colleague and best friend at Agement, Singishu, former governor. The basic functions of devolution, like for example, if you have, for the counties to work, you need to have 10 CECs. And because you are not in isolation, you don't exist in vacuum, you are going to perform your functions and expected to fairly do okay in comparison to other counties that also do the same functions, basically. Meaning, if there are departments within a ministry, basically, it's not you, but because you will do in comparison to other counties and will be interacting with those counties, then the department must also exist in certain basic number. And if it comes to health performance, it's the same. And as such, there are certain basic, costs that all the 47 counties will be incurring, that also we need to make sure whether a county is small or big, that all these counties are able to perform those functions. I couldn't agree more. Those are the, the basics in terms of that, because as the CRA chair got into simulating issues of income distance, the rest were very clear. When we came to issues of income distance, the parameters severely changed. And the fact that CRA is mandated does not mean you really need to alter the formula so gravely that it puts us in a spin in terms of how we deal with this issue. The service delivery is a factor of population as well as geographical land size. But I couldn't agree more on the issue of capping, because maybe some counties are extreme outlier in terms of the size, geographical size. It's probably 20-fold for some of the counties. The other issue I need to reflect on, it's a very difficult issue. I went to Sweden in 2015 with the Council of Governors. What I came back home with is that they have data on everything. If you stand there, and we were seated, we were testing, the population of, the number of people using a walkway adjacent to this street, they'll give you. They have done analysis. Now, we do not have reliable data. And even worse is that Kenya National Bureau of Statistics allowed itself to be used as a tool. For example, by the previous administration, directly in determining, without using the actual collection of population census, just to be able to get a certain outcome that were politically correct in view of the state. And we have a court ruling recently on that issue, which is very sad, where counties have realized negative population growth unjustifiably. Now, with that in mind, and what the CRA chair has said in terms of other parameters that could have been introduced, but there is no scientific data, unchallenged scientific data, collected by an independent entity that is supposed to be doing that. For example, there is no reason why Kenya National Bureau of Statistics should not be physically present, collecting all the necessary data required in the 47 counties in this country, and why they should not be resourced properly to make sure that we can generate reliable information and use that information for purpose of planning for this country. So, while I'm a discussant in this program, I sit in a very unfortunate position as being the chair of the committee that is going to work on behalf of the Senate to be able to recommend after having done a lot of engagement with all the stakeholders. So it's impossible for me to give you a position, you know, soon, God willing, subject to the decision you are going to make very soon. Yeah, so it puts me in an awkward position because I have ideas of my own, but it's not possible